Some situations have offered me just two options. I could either panic or pray. My tendency is to panic, like the Israelites by the Red Sea or the disciples on the Sea of Galilee. I've had my share of hyperventilating, heart-racing panic attacks, but the Lord has spent years trying to show me that prayer is the means by which I can, if I choose, stay even-tempered, self-possessed, cool-headed, strong-spirited, even in a crisis. When we can't press forward, move sideward, or step backward, it's time to look upward and to ask God to make a way. In a time of uncertainty, the patriarch Jacob said, "Let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make an altar there to God who answered me in the day of my distress and has been with me in the way in which I have gone." Referring to his days as a fugitive, David wrote, "In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. He heard my voice from his temple." The writer of Psalm 107 declared, "They cry out to the Lord in their trouble, and He brings them out of their distresses. He calms the storm so that its waves are still." That's just what happened as the Israelites cried out to God at the Red Sea, except there the waves became trembling walls of water held back by invisible dams. I'm not talking now about any of our regular quiet time prayer habits, important as they are. I'm talking about crisis time prayers, prayers of importunity and intensity, prayers during life-threatening or soul-shattering events. The Israelites were in crisis in Exodus 14, and their seaside cry was urgent, evidenced by the verb cried. I had a friend in college who gave me a book called Master Secrets of Prayer by Cameron Thompson. I still treasure it and have these words underlined. He said, "There comes a time, in spite of our soft, modern ways, when we must be desperate in prayer, when we must wrestle, when we must be outspoken, shameless, and importunate." Many of the prayers recorded in the Scripture are cries. He said in the Hebrew and the Greek words are very strong. Despite opinions to the contrary, the Bible recognizes such a thing as storming heaven and praying through. The fervent prayer of a righteous man is mighty in its working. Looking back over the years, I've never faced a crisis in which, in response to earnest prayer, whether prolonged or instant, God didn't make a way. James 5:16 says, "The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and wonderful results." That's the great secret to those who put their hands in the hand of the one who can part the seas.
It is certain that we will face difficulties and that God will allow them. Moses and the Israelites found themselves caught between the devil and the deep Red Sea. So are we sometimes overwhelmed by life's problems. But God delivered the Israelites, and He will deliver us too.
I was facing some difficulties, opened up my Bible, found Exodus chapter 14, and saw some principles there about dealing with difficulties that I'd never seen before.
In the Red Sea Rules, author Robert J. Morgan offers 10 sound strategies for moving from fear to faith, revealing how even in the midst of seemingly impossible situations, God has promised to make a way for us.
The same Lord who led them in, led them out.
We would like to send you a copy of this book as a thank you for your ministry support. Please write to us, order online at crossroads.ca, or call 1-800-265-3100.